I want to take a look at the Democrat Party website to understand how this party that is not liked by many people is presenting itself, what's wrong with it, what it says about them, and start to talk about some ways they could change or improve that. I have looked at the website once before, but I'm recording it now to make a video out of it. And I think it says a lot about where they're at, what the problems are, and where we could start to make some changes. I have a background in like media design. This is sort of what I do, and it's an interesting untapped lens with which to start to view some party politics. And I think that like internet culture, new media culture, even social media posts and comment sections and podcasts is really important, and anyone important has fully neglected or misunderstood that dimension. When you go to Democrats.org, this is the first thing you see. It's a map. It's a pop-up. The rest of the website is blurred. It's got sort of like an ugly yellowy beige to it. And it says, each dot on this map represents someone pitching in to support the DNC's work organizing around the country. Now's your chance to join them. Make a contribution today. Our button options are donate $10, donate $25, donate $40, donate $80, or other. Now, I get that they need to fundraise. I do. However, this is the first impression they're making. Over the past few days and in general, I listen to focus groups and stuff, and I've started asking people in streams like this and on social media, and I want more answers to this all the time. How would you describe the Democratic Party? What do you think they're good at? What do you think they're bad at? And a recurring theme is the sense that both parties are the same in that both just want money and they care about like getting money from big donors and support corporations and don't care about real people. This supports those priorities, I think, pretty clearly. It immediately opens with asking for money, and the website is literally like glass affected, blurred out, and then we see this like kind of boring, ugly map. It's like not aesthetic at all. This is paid for by the Democratic National Committee. This communication is not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. This sucks. This plays into like this impression that everyone sort of has. And it's not to say everyone's going to the website first to learn about them, but this shows a consistency with a perceived pattern, like generally, intuitively, of what their priorities actually are. This is saying like, hey, give us money. That's what we care about. And look, other people are giving us money. You should join them. So there's a sense of community there, some purpose, but community to what? They seem to expect you to know already who they are and why you should, because neither of those things are explained here. What is the Democrat Party? What is the Democratic Party? What is a Democrat? Why should I support them to the point that I literally give them money? That seems like a pretty core question. Also, there's not like an X in the corner to click out of this at all. So like it kind of feels already railroady, like they're literally not giving me an option. I assume if I click off of this, it will close. We'll see. Nope. Oh. It does not work. But if you double click a bunch, trying to get out, because it's so badly done, then in the highlight effect in the corner, you can see the X. That's blocked because it's a white background image and they have like a white close button. So it's not even like accessible. This is not visually accessible. It doesn't make sense. If I didn't happen to just like triple click over here to the side, I would never learn this. To me, that shows they did not even like care when they implemented this. This might be a violation. It's like so inaccessible. Certainly for like visual accessibility. Like this is maybe non-compliant. It's really bad, and we're off to a bad start. Like they've rolled this out fully to the point that you can give them money, and they have not even like tried to use their own website once. And this is another thing we saw, that Democrats seem to turn to consultants and not real people. They're not trying to solve problems for themselves. They view the voters as fundamentally other, and are sort of like out of touch in that way. Like this is already one problem that the people who made this website, I would hope, are not like even aware of, or they are aware of it and just didn't care. That's really bad. Okay, Also, clicking out of that modal should also close it. You shouldn't have to just click on the X. But yeah, like we're starting to see the patterns, right? And it's like, I want to give like the benefit of the doubt to be like, okay, are they doing good? Are they doing bad? But we're starting to see a click. We're starting to see this pattern. Like maybe it's not just people with a full misinformed view about what this party is. Is the party in any way confirming this? Here we have their full website. I'm going to up the crop on the window so you can see the top bar as well. So it looks like this. We have this like big D logo. That's kind of fun. It's big and round. I like that. I think it's like fun and round and no, colorful. It pops. This beige color at the top bar, but down here in like the body of the page, it's like white actually. It's a different color than this beige, which is weird. I feel like you could have like one neutral and just roll with it everywhere. Also, white is crisper and more clean. Like they probably should have just done white. And when you scroll down, it goes up. Like the beige to me is uninspired. It gives sort of a parchment look. It's sort of old fashioned. And I have a website myself because I do like design, do like fun little game design. It's like all like handmade little tabletop games. So I use a more parchmenty white color because it gives that feeling of old paper, like fantasy. It works in certain cases. You can do anything for a reason. What is the reason for this beige color? To me, it looks kind of like old and stale, like a yellowing piece of white plastic. It's unimpressive. It's kind of like this like boring bland grandma's house kind of vibe, which is odd. Meanwhile, the typography, like this is going to be very nitpicky. I'm sorry. Along this top bar, we have this. Oh, okay. It goes kind of blue when you hover over it. That's interesting. It's not the same blue as down below. It's actually a softer, lighter, less vibrant blue-green, which is less bold, makes less of an impact. It feels out of touch with the bright, bold blue of their logo. And we are the Democratic Party down below. So it's softer. It's lower impact. It's more like relaxed. It's not like bold, confident in your face. But I thought they were going for a bold, confident in your face. Typography-wise, we're getting like a sans serif, all uppercase, sort of narrow and taller, like impacty sort of font. Which would be that like bold, confident, serious, new, like industrial a little bit. So the colors and the font are already fighting each other. Does this maybe feel like reminiscent of anything to you? Maybe in the Democratic Party itself? What is it? Is it something old or something new? Is it something traditional or something modern? Is it something like kind of old-fashioned or like industrial? Is it something soft and kind and gentle? Or is it something like bold and new and making an impact? And to me, I know they have this pitch of being a big tent, but there are ways to do that. There are ways where you have one style that works for everybody, or there are ways to have lots of different specific styles that are conflicting with each other. Does this seem compatible or just messy? Does this seem unified or a compromise? These are the same sorts of questions and impressions people have about Democrat politicians, about the Democrat establishment, about the Democrat Party. And that lack of trust and that lack of understanding of what they are is a barrier to buy-in, so they go elsewhere. And the Republican Party, I think, is way more on the same page. Evil? Yes. But you know what you're getting. And the only time that has failed in recent history for them, among their base, has been the Iran war, where half of the party felt this was a betrayal of the America First brand, and half of the party thought this was in line with the projected American strength. It's not about whether this is good or bad. It's about, are you setting an expectation and then meeting that expectation? You can surpass expectations, but if you fail that expectation, whatever it is, that really damages long-term trust and loyalty. That's what we see immediately on the Democrat website. We're only to the top bar. Now we have some options here, which we'll get into, but first we're going to read this main page. We have who we are, where we stand, take action, vote, shop, donate as like their higher order button, and then en español. So that's nice. It's like a very sort of someone in TikTok chat. Hello. I'm not accepting guests right now because I need different infrastructure for that. I need to go live in a different program. But yeah, I can see these comments. Democrats use tragedy to fundraise. That's interesting. Democrats feel like controlled opposition. That's interesting. Both identical. That's interesting. Both maintain and uphold capital interests. That's interesting. Okay, just right and alt-right. Identical. Capital interests. What issues matter to you? Bilford, Jim Nuts, Hammer and Sickle. So the left begins at anti-capitalism. That's really interesting and statistically maybe not a winning strategy in a first past the post country. Then we have below the top bar this big like header collage. You can see most of it in the stream. There's like a little bit of a cutoff here. I'll see if I can zoom out. That will help. No, I can't really. The picture is too wide. In this like leftmost picture, we have two figures. One figure seems probably male. I'll see if I can just move it in my stream window. We'll see. Ha. One figure. No. Maybe male. In like a light blue shirt, holding a phone with like a cool necklace and glasses and short kind of scruffy hair. So very like Gen Z, probably white male. But like well dressed, taking care of themselves. There's like a smartwatch, possibly LGBT. It's not quite clear, and then like a white woman who's clapping, and like the demographics of people in situations like this are actually important. Lots of marketing is built along like demographic lines. Like if you look at like who's in a commercial, and the who's in that commercial tells you who they expect their customers to be, because people resonate with people like them. Like a yogurt commercial will always just be like women in their 30s or 40s like doing yoga. Chris Pinkham MD, thank you so much for the $50 donation. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes, I just don't want fascism. I don't want fascism, and I want young people to like do something real. And that's not to say like a full endorsement of everything the Democratic Party has been up to this point, but like I think a solution starts somewhere, and I want to build something using like what we have available. So yes, thank you. That means a lot and helps me like spend more time doing this stuff and surviving on rent and food costs. Seriously, thank you. Yeah. So like basically, I think the Democratic Party is in need of like just an honest critical analysis, and is like ripe for a sort of reboot territory, effectively like a makeover. You know, like just it has room to adapt and change and pivot into something better for people. And anyone who's like dogmatically just against Democrats just because of the name, I don't think is a serious person. But like if you know the substance, we can change the substance and the content to be better or worse, and also the presentation. And this like shows values. So yeah, we have light skins, possibly Hispanic or Latino, probably white male. We have white girl. Also similarly young, like maybe college or mid-20s. Then we have in the second picture, white man maybe in like 30s, in a t-shirt with sunglasses and kind of cheery, like, woo, is more masculine. Looks a bit more conservative, especially the sunglasses, because of sunglass theory. Then we have like an older, maybe like a mom, like an older mom or like a younger grandma, maybe like 40s, 50s. Has like the bonnet, like the Rosie the Riveter sort of bonnet going, and nice like red glasses, a fun, colorful pop, very vivid. She seems very happy and enthused, and her T-shirt reads in all bold sans serif caps, "America needs teachers." So far of the people here, I don't know these people. These may be pictures from real events, and they may be authentically passionate about something. Of these people so far, only this woman in the second picture, slightly on the left of the screen, with the glasses, she's presenting herself like as an ambassador of a party, of an image. Like she's, dressed up for this in a specific way. Like she seems like a good representative. She's sort of making herself a mascot a little bit. Like she seems to have a better handle on like a message and an aesthetic and a presentation of that message for a reason. And she seems like the most enthused about it. It's like, this is the kind of thing I file away. It's like, okay, maybe a place to start. This is someone who's like really on board and like has more of a vision. Whereas this guy next to her might care, but he's not like identifying with it in the same way, right? In the same way, like if I were looking at like Republicans, like, okay, who's super Republican, who has like a very clear understanding of what that movement is and what it's about and why they support it. If there's like one guy in like a MAGA hat and like USA flag coated like sunglasses and like USA flag, like, you know, bare belly but like a cape or something, and like a bathing suit and like flip flops, and has like a little beard, I'm like, okay, that guy like really knows what he's about, and he could probably give me the most honest like answer. Other people may support it for other reasons, maybe more like swing voters, more to the edge. But this lady so far seems the most like declaratively, I want to be in the core of this thing. So that's like something to kind of keep in mind of what that image should be. As like the Rosie the Riveter imagery, that's interesting. That may be a good idea. We should file away for later. This third image, we have two women, one possibly Latino or Hispanic, possibly Asian. Can't tell. She has like a different eye shape and darker hair and darker skin tone. Still a fairly light skin tone. We're seeing lots of white people so far and lots of light skinned people, which is a implicit bias. She's on her phone. She's in a nice like business wear, like a blazer over an undershirt. Seeing that sort of like old money aesthetic bleed through fashion and culture. Also on her phone, like very nice. Her nails are done. Full makeup. It's like this teacher lady seems a bit more sweaty, like she's been out on a march or something. A bit more put together. I don't see what she's looking at, but we're seeing like lots of joy is kind of a through line here. And then with her is another friend. I'd hope a friend. I don't know. Maybe they're just standing next to each other. An African American woman with a hat, a bit more casual clothes, like it's more summery clothes. She's got like a tattoo. Got like wearing some beads. Got a phone that looks. I can't tell. It looks like a smudge, right? Maybe a little more beat up. It's not like new and super clean like her phone. So we're starting to see like some, maybe at least like in this particular moment, some class diversity. It could just be after 5 p.m. and like the girl on the left came from the office. Sorry. Or it could be I don't know, just like people from different backgrounds. But like these are the kinds of things to consider. Like who did they see as representatives of the Democratic Party, and who are they putting centermost? It is this woman who appears to be maybe upper middle class on the right with the phone, and this like woman who seems to like teachers. Maybe she is a teacher. I would assume she's a teacher on the left. Seeing like women, yeah, like kind of dorky, nerdier women. Hey, how are you? In the fourth picture here on the right, I will try to move my screen over on desktop so it's more visible. We have two more figures. First, it looks to be a man in like a Phillies hat. So it's a red hat from Phillies, from a city. A red hat, but different. So wearing red, white, and blue, but in their own way. I can't see what the shirt says, but it's like it's and then something else, maybe like a check mark or something. Similarly, like that bold sans serif caps, like a bold, confident making a statement. Probably also a political shirt if I had to guess, but not a political hat. But still, like repping local cities, like team culture. A guy who likes sports. Then we have this woman here in like a really fun blouse. Love her style. She's older. She is African American. Has her hair back in a practical ponytail. So she's like pretty and like has clearly like her eyebrows look really nice, but like a bit more practical the hairstyle. Her hair was like a little dry. You know, it seems to be nighttime in this picture. Lots of people holding up phones and stuff. So like very new media, very like informed or connected. Yeah, and like a nice blouse. Can't get a clear class read on that, but like bold, fun colors. So that's a long way of getting around to all that information. From that, what does that tell you who the Democratic Party is? Who are they presenting themselves as? Who do they consider to be members? And we think of priority too, as well. That's a factor as well. Who's more important? And they do have a general trend of they have people on the left of this image looking towards the right, and people on the right looking towards the left. So it's like sort of everyone's facing the center where you're looking at this website. But when we think of priority, there's a couple things to consider. The first is like the center, right? Like the big, like attention grabbing. The second is reading order, like a book. In America, we read from the top left, from left to right, and then going down. So it's usually like higher order, higher priority stuff is on the left, and then goes from left to right, and then left to right, and left to right. So to me, this shows a preference for white people and a preference for middle class, upper middle class people, and a preference For women, 5 to 3. Um, and a preference for younger people. There are 2 older people and 6 younger people. This is all useful demographic data, right? This is who they're catering to. Not even necessarily accurately representative of who they are. Maybe it is. That's one strategy they could use. They could use this to be descriptive about who their party is. They could use this to be idealistic about who they want in the tent, who they're reaching to. But this is all useful information. And they do want it to be about the people, too. These are good people like at campaign events, probably, I would assume. Like speaking events, you seem excited. Um, but that's all useful information, I think. Someone said Democrats equals systemic anti-white racial hatred in America. Well, if you came just to like generally answer that question, I think that's a useful answer. I can definitely write it down, just to be honest about like what different people's perceptions are. However, at the same time, I'm literally looking at the Democrats' website right now, and using all of the language of like visual design and graphic design that they've paid a lot of money for, they're showing a strong prioritized preference for white people. You can do with that what you will, but like that is what is happening here visually. And a centering of white people as well. Like the people who I get in frame are lighter skinned and whiter, and on the far left, there's someone who is lighter skinned but could potentially be Hispanic or Latino maybe. And on the right is an older African American woman. So, you know, there is like a tilt towards whiteness that I don't think is a good idea. Now let's get reading here, and we're gonna keep looking at like color and type as we go. We are the Democratic Party. That's a good headline. It's bold. It's definitive. It's descriptive. But does it really tell you anything? Does it really tell you anything at all? We are the Democratic Party. That's the first description they have. Now, the modal that popped up when we first looked at this website was straight up, give us money, like support us, be part of the DNC. It didn't really say anything about what the party is, and here we have the Democratic Party. The problem is you can't just keep saying the Democratic Party is the Democratic Party. Eventually, it has to mean something. And if you don't do a good job defining yourself, people like those concrete, visual, sensory information, jingly key politics, other people will start to speculate and fill in a clear answer for you that they can wrap their head around. Like this dumbass in chat thinks that the Democrats are the KKK, despite Republicans supporting white supremacist policies that are like studied. And any skinhead these days is not voting for Democrats. We're rolling up our sleeves and organizing for a brighter, more equal future. Okay, brighter, more equal. That's a little descriptive. We get some idealism. We get like the rolling up our sleeves is a bit more lower to middle class. It's a bit more like direct, like we're gonna fix it ourselves. It's a bit more humble. It definitely cuts against like an elite depiction thing of like we're above that. It's like we're gonna get it done. I think that's active, that's involved. It's we. It's some togetherness there. Organizing for a brighter, more equal future. This is trying to be hopeful, positive, constructive towards something, but it still doesn't say what that is. At a high level, this might work. And a more equal future, so equality is also a thing. More equal, does that mean entirely equal? What does that mean? Like, I feel like there's some issues with how Democrats have defined equality and equity and justified to the broader public, like, the need for any diversity type initiatives or like why it's important or what that means or what the problem is. So to younger generations especially who don't like actually remember Jim Crow, it gets treated like similarly, confused, distrusted. People fill in the blanks for what it means because there's not like a clear thing to go off of. Together, we will elect Democrats up and down the ballot. Sign up to get the latest. So even though this first sentence, this first line here, is a bit more descriptive, it's still maybe too vague for my tastes. This second line just goes back to The Democrats elect Democrats, which is not telling us anything. And also, these are part of the same text block. Like, these are not two separated things. So even though you have this message here, it literally gets buried between your big headline, which tells you nothing, and then this, like, nothing burger thing. And then it's again like, oh, we're just fishing for contact information, and we're going to send you spam texts. I'm not seeing why the spam texts matter. Why are they important? Yeah, Democratic Party mission statement: elect Democrats. But that has no appeal. There's no reason provided. Certainly not like above any alternative idea. And even like full on like tanky like ML Mao stuff. I mean, they're heavily filtered in propaganda, but they're like, we're for the workers and we're gonna start a violent revolution. Like, I don't think that's a safe idea. I think that's pretty ableist. I think they have some racial and gender-based blind spots. But that's like a pitch, you know? That's a pitch. That's here's a problem, here's our proposed solution, and also like a tone and angle and a presentation of that solution. So like people will buy like hats with and shirts with like hammer and sickle on it. Yeah, raise money. Like that's not a thing. Yeah, get our texts. These are not things. Then we have here leadership, the issues, contact, take action. We have merch, okay? I'm one of 75 million Americans against Trump, which is using literally their own home turf free space to platform their opponent. This is like a common thing in like debates and stuff, you know, or just when you're making comments, like as a politician, they'll say like my opponent, you know, they don't even want to give them like a single mention. And then the next thing is just like a hoodie with a little donkey. I think the donkey's kind of cute, like this new redesign. It's like a bit more sleek. And then we have just a D pin. But none of this tells you anything. This just says what they're against. They still not define themselves. Then we have a thing on like leadership, the issues, contact, take action. Leadership is again about the people who are there and not like what I want them to lead or what they're there to do. So I don't necessarily care about the leadership yet. You know, because the leadership are just the people in charge of the Democrats who give money to Democrats and elect Democrats, okay? So this is just people. This is just guys. Why should I care? The issues will help. We'll look at that. And then we have contact and take action. So even the issues, the thing it should be about, because we want answers, we want like a justification. Give me a reason to help you and I'll help you because I like helping people do good things. I like good things. We're not getting that. When they have the issues here, it's buried as the second of 4 items. The problem with this is like this is a low priority kind of thing. It's not as bold an impact. The merch is like a bolder visual impact. That's why I was drawn to it first. We have a lot of information here. It's low priority. It's like smaller. It's denser. It's kind of a wall of text. The issues, which is the one important thing, is buried in the middle. And there's in psychology the primacy effect and the recency effect. If you're given a large list of pieces of information, like if I just said 10 random words, people most remember the first things and the last things, and the middle gets blurry. That's just how that goes. So like this is the most forgettable place to put this. Then you kind of have to wonder, why are you hiding issues? Someone in chat said, yeah, if they pick something, they become attackable. That's true. But they have to be defensible. At some point, you have to stand for something. And if they can't defend that thing, then it's really hard to justify supporting them. And I think it's worth doing the effort, and it will be hard and require lots of like mock debates internally, and lots of like marketing and PR help. Pick something you stand for and stand for it, and keep practicing how you talk about that until you can like prove to the average person this is a good thing and it's worth doing. Then we have a big footer with the Democratic National Committee. Similar lots of stuff that we see in the top, so this is less important to me. But still, the first priority here is that join us, contact information kind of thing. Then we have who we are. So we're going to go back all the way to the top. How would I figure this out? Who we are. This is the first thing in their header bar. So maybe this is good. Maybe this is how they're defining themselves. Who we are. USA. I know they're a political party. I think that's common knowledge. This doesn't help. It's not enough to me. Especially when the opposition party has doubled down on being like double America flags, double patriotism. This is just a weaker sell of the same idea. It's otherwise kind of bland. It's, I don't know, give me something. If I cared about patriotism, I can get a better dose of that somewhere else. Okay, who we are. The Democratic National Committee is committed to electing Democrats everywhere. God damn it. God damn it. That's not who you are. Is that who you are? That's nothing. From the school board to the Oval Office, we're mobilizing voters across the country. To do what? To raise money to get Democrats elected. To raise money to get Democrats elected? What's the. That's not who you are. That's not who you are in a way that matters. When people ask who you are, that's not what they mean. We have what we do about the Democratic Party. I thought this was that. Is this not that? Why are those separate pages? Oh, but then the next higher priority thing, higher priority than this, because these are similarly little stacked text elements in a row. Then we have our leadership. They're talking about the people again. The DNC's officers, under the leadership of Chair Ken Martin, didn't ask who he was. You haven't given me a reason to care yet. Come from every walk of life, maybe that's something like class diversity, and represent all that is best about the Democratic Party. You can't just drop and brag about all that is best about the Democratic Party when you've given me nothing to go on. Learn more about the team doing this work, because when we organize everywhere, we can win anywhere. Why? Why should I help you win? You have not given me a reason to care. Donald Trump is very good at this. Like, he has a marketing background that's successfully, not a business background. He can identify a problem or a feeling you have of a problem and then try to, like, pitch you solutions on that. He's stupid at coming up with solutions. But, like, this, but he can first, like, meet you where you're at and find the problem in your mind and knows the questions you have and can start to feed you wrong answers, but answers that feel satisfying to those questions. We're seeing none of that. Oh, okay. No, we have more information. ASDC, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. State parties, I don't know why would I care? We're looking for passionate, talented Democrats to join our team and turn this country blue. Come join our team. Open position. I don't care. I don't care. Why should I care? What am I supposed to care about? Passionate about what? Talented people of what type? To do what? To turn this country blue. They're an entity that exists to get elected. Okay. But fine, we'll dig deeper. What we do. Is this different than where we stand? Whatever. Okay, here we have some more diversity. That's good. That's good. Here we're seeing diversity. Okay. Took them a while. Clearly not their top priority. The Democratic Party elects leaders who fight for equality, justice, and opportunity for all. Finally something. Though it is vague and ideological. That's not good enough. Build the wall worked because people know what a wall is. Lower the cost of eggs worked because people know what an egg is. Deport people, evil, worked because people know what a person is, and they connected it as a solution to the feeling of economic anxiety, of job anxiety and insecurity, of like a feeling of safety insecurity. Wrong answer, but like they started with the problems and they gave a concrete, here's the thing we'll do about it. The DNC is working around the clock to build a strong Democratic Party capable of lifting Democrats all across the country to victory. It's just more. This is slop. This is DNC slop. Data technology infrastructure. What? Their tech team develops solutions to the most pressing problems facing campaigns up and down the ballot. A continually updated view of American voters, rich store of historical campaign data, cloud-based data warehouse, and custom data science models allow campaigns to effectively reach voters. Am I being trolled? What the fuck is this? This is the What We Do page. I clicked who we are and it brought me here. Is this a fucking IT company? What the fuck am I looking at? Sorry. The team provides data, tools, and infrastructure that last beyond an election cycle to be leveraged by Democratic campaigns. A Democrat is a plumbus, you see. And we can tell you all about how we make the plumbus and how many plumbuses there are and all the places we can put a plumbus. What is a plumbus? A plumbus is what happens when you build a plumbus. The end result of that is a plumbus. Can you tell me what a plumbus is? Like, it's this cowardice of themselves. And it feels really bad to, like, support someone or back someone or, like, defend someone on their behalf when they won't defend themselves. And like they don't have a good reason for that. Does this make sense? Like Republicans will just bite a bullet. Republicans eat like a cereal bowl full of bullets every day of just objectively stupid ideas. But they can say, "But I feel scared, and that's why I do this." But this is what my neighbors do, and I will stand in the way of my neighbors. Like I will stand up for my neighbors, in the trailer park. Um, and then we will all hate everyone else together. Like that's what they do. Um, this is indefensible. And their target audience is smart people who ask questions and want to understand. And it's hard for those people to understand it or defend it. And then lots of like younger college kids who are themselves also trying to be smart and learn about things and ask questions never get satisfying answers from the Democratic Party. And that's why like other left-leaning but like infrastructureless, planless movements take them, right? Like the leftist movements that have theory. They offer theory and big ideas and like a model of critique. They don't have a plan to get from here to there. But intellectually, if you're like, why are things bad? What would good things be? A leftist is offering you something that a liberal is not, that a Democrat is not. Conservatives are also offering you something, but it's really not your taste unless you're like a young white boy on track to become a terrorist. Voter protection and civic engagement. You can protect people's right to vote in theory, or look at the data of how people vote in practice, like with big data. But for what? We're still talking about voters in the abstract or whatever they do. None of it's like, but voters specifically should back us or should do this. We don't get that. Protecting voters do what? Are you protecting my rights as a voter with which I can go vote for the other guy? Is that just as fine? I may as well. Because that's what they want to do systemically. They're not a political party. They got to get out of the game. Like, I don't care who wins. We're just here to have fun. Like, care. Pick a side, rep a side, stand for something. Okay, we're going to give up on this branch, and we're just going to go back to where we stand. I believe I missed another branch, which may have been useful, but it was lower down, and I forget it. It's also not a drop down from here, so I can't even see what that is. Where we stand. Does this help? Okay, here we have diversity. A lot of women, overwhelmingly women. There's one gentleman with a beard who's a little to the left. A lot of women. We're seeing some diversity here. It's pretty good. She has a shirt about gun violence. Okay. That's an issue. So we have teachers and gun violence, both of which, by the way, are the only issues we've seen specifically, both of which repped by people wearing t-shirts that in no way match the visual style or language or description of the actual party website. Like the voters are bringing the ideas. The party doesn't even seem to know they are. Where we stand. Democrats believe that the economy should work for everyone. Okay, but how? What does it mean? Healthcare is a right. That's a good one. That's pretty defensible. Our diversity is our strength. This is buzzword cancer. Statistically, you can make the argument that diversity is good, actually. That you get better ideas. More diverse hiring in like a business, like a white-collar business. Those companies literally perform better on the stock market. You can justify this and track this, but you don't. And like this is just a buzz phrase that has gotten people pissed. Really, really pissed. Stop saying this. Stop saying this. You gotta explain it yesterday or drop it and pick a new phrase. And democracy is worth defending. Is democracy worth defending? Because it kind of seems like they're just more so like repping space for the other guys to win and take power. Because they have a reason to vote. Voting for the Democrats should be worth defending. And it's really hard to do, and all you can really do to do it is say the other guys are worse. But we're getting some answers here. Also, a point on typography that's bothered me. There are ways to mix different fonts. In general, it's better to use one font, or the fewer fonts, the better, so you have a clearer voice and style. Sometimes you can do different fonts. And different fonts are good at different things. So this font in the header bar, and at this header here, this is called a sans serif font, where it doesn't have the little feet at the end of the letters. Like this is like Arial and Helvetica are sans serif fonts. Whereas something like Times New Roman is like this body font here, where it has a little feet, little edges on the letters that stick out. It looks more traditional. And a big thing is like serif fonts, because these are called serifs, those little feet on the end. Serif fonts are more traditional, like they're old school fonts. Why they have those little dots at the edges of the letters, the little feet and like tails everywhere, is it's a printing thing because you like literally put the ink on the page and it would pool on the edges. So fonts were designed with that in mind, and it works in books. It's very readable in print. Sans serif fonts like this, like Arial, like Helvetica, are newer. They work better on like screens, and part of that is in the 90s when screens were much lower resolution. With this serifs and all these like little dots it had to render, it would get messy. So if you looked at like a C and an O, having this little drop down from the C at the top could bleed in and make it look more like an O. It looked more closed. It was more clutter. And we didn't have the resolution for that at the time. So sans serif fonts were seen as more modern because they worked better on modern machines. They worked better digitally. Now screens are high enough resolution, it doesn't really matter. But there's still this lasting impression. You use serif fonts to convey something traditional, and you use sans serif fonts to convey something more industrial, bold, modern, for a higher impact in that way. You can mix two fonts. When you do, you want your header font to be your big impact statement font, right? It's more visual, it's more display, it's more artsy. And then the smaller letters are just for practical reading. When you do that, you want your body font to be like making less of a statement, more low key. Like let the header font define your style, and this is just practical basic text. When you mix fonts, usually you want them both to be sans serif, or you want them both to be serif, and you want them to have similar styles in different ways too. Like this should also be a narrow font if they want them to kind of match a little bit, so they feel like they fit together, like they feel like related. Or if you want to mix the types of fonts, you want to have like a basic sans serif body font just for clear readability, and then a more stylized serif header, like more traditional looking, more elaborate. And then you want your body text to be simple. This is backwards. This is backwards and it's flipped. And these fonts don't even go together. This one is like very tall and narrow in all caps. This one is more like round and friendly. And even if you look at this lady's shirt in the blue here, it's using an all caps sans serif font, but see how like the letters are a bit wider, it's a bit rounder? That would match this font more. So like it's these little things. I know they're little things, but it's showing, does this work together or does this like push on each other? And it's bad. It's bad. This is not well designed. This is lazy. I don't know why these fonts were picked. It's the same thing we're seeing with the beige fighting the white. You could have beige and this like serif font. Like notice how this font down here on this thing, like this looks decent. This goes together. It looks like an old page in a book. Or even if we just do like the where we stand and we cut off the body text, that looks modern and kind of nice. But mixing it together in this way, it just looks ugly. Like it's unsure of itself. Is this old or new? Young or old? Then this like softer blue and the beige is just weaker. Like they're reducing the color contrast from both sides. What pops out, what leads. I don't like these colors too. They're kind of weak and like ugly and sad. The party platform, this is an external link, so I don't know what good this website is for. What I want is for this to be like a topic by topic based full list of like big heading and idea and like maybe 3 bullet points of specific policies or ideas on each topic in the order from most important, most core to like less important, less of an issue for voters. So I guess we'll look at this. The Democratic Party writes and adopts a new party platform at each Democratic National Convention to detail our shared democratic values and policy priorities. It's a plumbus. The plumbus is about the plumbus. We're getting way more of that again. Oh, Democrats across the country are fighting hard to build a better America. They still don't really know we don't know what that looks like or what that is. We're fighting to build an economy that works for everyone. They said that already. By lowering costs for working families and investing in the middle class. Okay, that's a little elaboration. That's good. Okay, economy. I still don't know how or what or why. I want a specific. I want something concrete. Lowering costs for working families is good. What about working people who don't have families? Do you think there's maybe like a lot of, I don't know, like men who are like working a truck or something, or like work retail, who like voted for Donald Trump? Maybe. Like they just have failed to get a family or find a partner long term. Who maybe feel like they're too poor to like have the free time and the get to look nice and go on a date. And they're working class. We have the middle class and working families. Maybe there's people who are working class but don't have a family. I feel like we're already missing some stuff and it feels particular. Investing in the middle class, I get technically why, like economically, investing in the middle class is good, but it feels very selective, like not for all Americans or average Americans. It's like you're yoinking out this specific slice of the Jenga tower. And it does feel like a middle finger to everyone else. Democrats are dedicated to ensuring a stronger and more just future for every American. Maybe that works. It's still just vague. Oh, the issues. Wait, is this not what we're on? What the fuck is this? Where we stand is different than the issues? Why is this buried so far? Okay, wait, but then we have party platform out here. So is this going to be different? This is a party platform. It's another... It's just a link to a link. This is a useless web page. Why? This could just link directly. This is what we're saying. Once again, they joined together to craft the platform without saying what that is. It's created to uplift working people and write out values that will guide our party for years to come. Some inconsistencies here. It's similar conceptually, but they're using different words and phrases each time. They're not like locked in on how they talk about this. Working people. That's different than working families. It's different than the middle class. Okay, this is another external link. All right, party platform. Ugly colors, different font choices. Again, interesting. Ugly, but it's something. I think the blue on white, like the bolder blue on white, looks like much more crisp. Actually, it looks like much more modern, sleek. It's making a statement. It's punchier. It's a higher impact. But then, wait. Hang on. This is different than the. Okay, this links to that. But there's the where we stand thing, the issues, right? These are two different pages. So trying to follow the same request, like what are you actually about? Not only is it not their top priority, and it's like already not in 3 bases as I thought it would be. Now I have two different sources for this information. Versus the issues. Then there's this like 92-page PDF. Let's look at the table of contents on this. Big preamble. Okay. Do these match in order? Let's see. Because if they had the same, if they were in step, they would have the same priorities. We're seeing way too many different fonts. So we have a skinny sans serif font. We have the bold sans serif font. We have the condensed version. This is like squished. This is wider on the left. It's squished up top. This feels like semi-condensed in the middle here. It's semi-condensed and it's not bold. Okay. I wish this showed this. They had a way more like bold presentation. Hang on, let's pull up another page again. Like this feels so weak and it's all buried. I don't know. I liked when it felt like it was just on the page. Like here, right? I wanted to see it look like this, where I have like healthcare in a big bold thing, like centered, and then this little bit. Here it's left aligned and it's like so much weaker. Okay, the first thing is climate change. Then democratic accomplishments. Stop talking about yourself in circles. What is the thing? Economy and jobs, gas prices. The specificity here is wildly out of step too. These do not feel like a set of ideas. They're not like on parity with each other. Gun reform, better than gun control probably. They definitely did like a statistical thing on that. It feels less controlling. Health care, 2 words or 1 word? I would just take 1 word. I don't know. It feels out of step with like how casual people talk about it, maybe just a little bit, but it's consistent. They've done this elsewhere on the site too. Inflation, LGBTQ plus rights, prescription drugs, protecting and strengthening our democracy, bad issue, reproductive rights, Social Security, Medicare and Medicaid, student loan debt, taxes, veterans voting rights. Oh, this is alphabetical. Okay, this is alphabetical. Yeah, alphabetized issues is the choice I just figured out they did. It's not the right choice. If you're showing your value, show what you stand for. And frankly, you could get good data on this too. You could like interview a bunch of people, survey a bunch of people, see what they care about, and in how much, like, what are people's top issues in what order. And you would get really good results on that. Like there's a right answer. Not just what they personally, like the leadership, wants those issues to be. You can make a very informed call on that. That's easy for them with their reach to like get the real answers on. But okay, we're gonna click on climate change. That's it. Why is it nested if it's just a little paragraph each? Are they all like this? No, it's all just 1 paragraph. Oh, it's like wall of texty too. They're kind of long paragraphs. No, this is like longer than a news site paragraph. So like you're already like, who has the time and patience to read this? Not the average voter, not the average person. Like you want nerds who can just sit down and read it like a paper. but also one paragraph. So it's like too much information, but all in one block. So it's like not enough information, but it's presented as too much. Okay, the climate change. President Biden, bad reputation, bad PR externally. We're really leading with that foot. Okay, President Biden and Democrats, stop saying Democrats. Democrats, stop just saying Democrats. Passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which takes aggressive action to combat the existential crisis of climate change. These historic investments will help American families save every year on their energy bills while strengthening our energy security, crafting jobs, and getting us closer to meeting our climate goals. This is what they did, not what they believe or what they're working towards. Like, I could say, like, oh, hey, that makes me feel really good about my vote in, like, 2020. That's what this is, right? Like, I could be, yeah, you know, that's something good I did. But even if I like them, like, okay, what are you doing for me now? Why should I vote for you this time? What's new? What's going to happen? Nothing. Nothing. There's nothing. Really, really bad. And this is the case where, and a lot of leftists do this as well, which is interesting. Leftists are good at this. Can put forward these like big ideas with a value or like a condemnation, like we are anti-capitalism. We are pro-universal healthcare. These are big picture, they're stances. The execution details come after the fact, but you know what they're for. And they felt like Mamdani was for stuff because he said like free buses, like concrete examples of things to get on board with. And even if some of Mamdani's ideas aren't really effective or don't work out, like the city-run grocery stores, or you know, even if they don't happen, let alone if they don't get good returns, which I don't think that one specifically will, it gives an overall impression like, oh, he's for a more affordable New York, and he's like willing to just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And if it doesn't, like there's a reasonable average layperson like perception, he will try other stuff. But like we know he's working towards a goal. We know what that goal is, and these are just some of the means to the end, you know. And he could, even if he did all this stuff right now, okay, next year he'll do other stuff on top of this, all in support of that same goal. This is climate change. Here's just one specific thing we did. Okay. This is climate change. This says also that climate change is an existential crisis. Doesn't say what it is. We're still just talking about it and assuming you already know. One of the death knells of the Democrat Party, as it has been, is this assumption you will know. Or like, oh, she has policies on a website. Like, go look them up. But like has failed utterly to communicate anything for many, many years. Democratic accomplishments, that's not an issue. That's not an issue. It's also talking about the past again. That's not an issue. It's not a stance. That's not a goal. Bragging about what they did in different topics too. So you have like a job creation. That's good. Job creation and unemployment rate. That's good stuff. What they could do is put that under a section about the economy and jobs. It should be down here, right? That should be down here. And then the next one. And then you could say like, hey, here's what we want to do. And then have a little section of proof under that. Like, here's what we've done so far. Like, here's what we want to do, and here's why you should trust us because we're already taking steps towards this end. That would be impressive. That would be contextually relevant. That would be something. This is new. Okay, and then economy and jobs starts with, there's more work to do. Hey guys, we're not good enough. That's what they're leading with. But Democrats' plan to fight inflation and lower costs is working. What if we phrase the sentence instead as, instead of Democrats' plan, our plan, right? Because we're meant to feel like we're in conversation with the Democrats. We're coming to them directly. Our plan to fight inflation and lower costs is working. Or maybe even make it more direct. Instead of our plan is working, be like, we're fighting inflation. It's like a battle, you know, that's a good, I think fighting works. And lowering costs. And we're winning, you know, something like it's take possession of this. This feels so impersonal, like that, just this refusal to even own what works in your favor. Gas prices, okay. Oh, this is not even current. This is the Biden administration worked with oil producers to help reduce gas prices and is focused on expanding domestic energy production. Thanks to these efforts, the national average gas price has dropped from the highest prices seen last summer. This is out of date, which is dangerous. It's 2026. This is out of date. This is from 2023, before then. This one is also not specific. if they do want to be like nerdy and like number focused here, or giving like 14 million jobs and all that, and we're just proving at least what we did, to say, hey guys, we worked with the oil producers, we're good now, and then they're not giving specifics, that makes me not trust them. That makes me think, did they get a good deal with the oil producers, or did they like suck up to big oil? I don't know. Why won't they tell us? It's just gonna be like, don't worry guys, trust us, when they've already established a precedent. It makes this feel more sus. They could present everything in like more kind of vague general story terms, or be data driven. But this feels like an omission by comparison. They're shooting themselves in the foot. Why? Like, this is the kind of pattern. I'm not going to go through all these. I think that kind of gets across the idea. Take action. What is take action? This website is so uninspiring. This one doesn't even have a header image. This is one of their top level pages. See how this one has a header image? This homepage has a header image. We're saying this has a header image. Take action should be one of the most get involved, active, like empowering, aggressive, aggressive kind of things, right? This is like, yeah, get involved. This is frankly where I want to see a picture like this. Like, I want to be like at a protest. So if I'm trying to take action, contextualize me with being in an event like this, like being at a march, getting like the real people, like making this feel more real and you're involved. That's the place for this. But we don't even have a picture. Take action. Also, this is not even the same type of header. It's not all uppercase. It's not centered. We got punctuation here, which would be bolder if it was everywhere, but it just feels kind of like it's trying to shout to get your attention. It's trying to have the natural power that, like, oh, that one's not all caps. This one is all caps. Another inconsistency. This feels more impactful. This feels like it's trying to be. This is a little bro right here. On arguably the most important page. Take action. Democrats are keeping their foot on the gas. Cringe. Organizing and meeting voters until no stone is left unturned. We have two different analogies in the same sentence. Your foot on the gas and no stone is left unturned. This would not get an A in an English class. We have an M dash, which I don't know if this was AI at the time this was made, but avoid M dashes as you can. It makes your work feel less trustworthy, less human made. Because we know when we organize everywhere, we win everywhere. That's a very like self-congratulatory thing. That's not proven in the results. It's not good. It's not showing like urgency here. You know, it's like I want that urgency. Like if Republicans did this, they'd be like, we need to get out now to save our country or else everything is going to explode and Obama is going to swallow Texas. Like he's going to turn into an Attack on Titan monster. You know, they would like do something more active. They would create a sense of urgency. Here's a problem. We need to solve it right now. We need you to do that. Here's how. We don't see any of that. Oh, okay, there's going to be a voter registration week. That's one specific thing at one specific time. Is that relevant? Is this new or am I just happening to look at this in March? I don't know. Cutesy little icons. It's a complete style break. It's so messy. We count fellowship. Fellowship? Is this like a church thing? What is this? First of its kind paid part-time youth fellowship. That feels churchy. Invite training supporters to organize and register. Okay. When we count, we'll build the bench of the next generation of community leaders. Okay. Is that just for young people? I'm confused. Is that different than becoming a local listener? Okay. Yeah, I also missed the time before AI Gen. Yeah, I like M dashes. Like, I'm a nerd. I like English classes. Learn how to have meaningful, values-based conversations, how to meet people where they are, and how to show up for their communities with empathy and clarity. Is this being like a listener or a converser? What does this icon mean? It's so cluttered. It doesn't tell me anything. Like, is that an ID or is that meant to be like dialogue boxes? I don't know. And like they haven't showed me or prominently showed any understanding of like, here's our values, here's what we're for. Why would I trust this? Like there are definitely organizations and events and opportunities to like become better and have outreach talking about here's a position, like here's why Democrats are running on this position is a good thing and here's why you should vote for this. I don't trust that coming from this website. They have not instilled like a personal direct understanding of how to have meaningful values-based conversations, meeting people where they are, and showing up for communities with empathy and clarity. Like I don't trust that. Why would I trust that? Why would I get that from them? Also, there's way too many things on this page. Like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different ways to get involved that all feel kind of samey in their overlap as an organization. Is it possible to maybe streamline these into like combined things? Because I'd be a little confused. Like I get to having lots of different events, but yeah, it's passive. There's no call to action. I feel like there could be one centralized organization like get involved, and there's like the out on the street department. There's like the text and phone line department. There's like the youth department. But it's so. This feels itself like a clusterfuck. Like maybe these organizations started at different times, in different areas with different groups of people, and they all kind of overlap, but not really. So we're just gonna list them all. Like I don't. Why one or the other? I don't know. Is anyone fine? Anyone might be fine. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And I should know. This website is literally to help people know. Then we have make sure you and your friends are registered to vote. And then get involved. Oh, we have a built-in forum, like a built-in form on this page. Okay. Then we have under this, what? Is this a social media section? What? Why is this here? News like this should be on the front page. Why is this here? Why is this so... I never even would have found this. You can search for like images or videos. Also, really sad and really telling. Literally all of this is just showing Donald Trump and framing him with black and gold and white, which is how you like the marketing for like luxury and bold and like kind of scary, but they embrace that. Like his own branding stuff uses like black and white and gold. This is just, they're advertising Trump. They're advertising Trump on the Democrat website. All of this, Jesus. What are you doing? What are the Democrats part? This is free marketing. It might be negative, but Jesus, what's the alternative here? Who are you guys? Why are you better? What are you? It just keeps going. What? This is taking action? That's the worst thing I've seen on the site. Okay, just a little bit left and then we're done. I do want to end this. Vote. Oh, that's a different website entirely with a different look and style. Weirdly absent header. Okay. That's just about registering to vote in general. So if you're a Republican or you're curious about being a Republican and you're not registered to vote, Democrats.org will help you and give you a direct, completely politically neutral link on how to help you do that. That's you can just go to Democrats.org and without learning a single thing about who or what the Democratic platform is or why you should choose that one, you can directly go and then register to vote. Then we have a shop. This is a different website again. Am I that zoomed out? I am. Okay. Sorry. Different website again. Different visual style. Oh, I clicked that by accident and it flashed, which is not accessible. We have a carousel here, which is not accessible if you have limited mobility and use a screen reader or something. A carousel like this, where you have like multiple big pictures that you can click through or flip through, doesn't work. You want everything to just be on the same page and you can see it. Because you have limited ability to flip through them. You don't see it all at once. So it's basically like the other slides are hidden and they don't get picked up by screen readers. So they're for every American. This is like a sophomoric accessibility mistake. This header image is way too big. Also, on the other pages we had, it was like we each had these clear kind of like header pictures. Oh, this does not even go back to the main page. My bad. Nope, the Democrat store is a wholly different website that looks similar, but you have no way back. Okay. But the original website had like the header images were just like clean and crisp and then had like a distinct header bar. This is a gradient and it's bigger and it just flows right into the picture. So that's another style difference and a style break entirely. We keep switching between centered and left aligned. Ironic. They can commit to either one. Vote Democrat. Good trouble. I'm one of 75 million Americans against Trump. That's half of this. That's more than any other design. Another thing that bothers me, and it's small, and I do like want to fix and change, is I don't like that they have two completely different and incompatible logos between the D and the donkey. I just think that's kind of a mess. I think that's sort of bad. It shows like a non-committal approach to graphic design. And this hero image is way too big. Even if you wanted to give them money, by the way, when I pull this up in my browser, I have a pretty big computer screen. This is what I see. There's like a little trimmed off on the sides, but I can't even have a direct access to like a specific button to buy something. I have to click on that to go to another list of things to buy. I can go here and then click the shop now button. That was not visible at first. Then the shopper bestseller is all hidden. Like even if their goal is to just make money, when I open like their main store page, nothing on my screen is a direct product. I can't buy I have to put in the extra effort to scroll down and like dig deeper and like find categories and then like buy, you know? And I know that's small, but it's like emblematic, right? We need to win because we need to win. And if you want to support us, the work is on you. You need to dig for that. And if you want to know what we're about, the work is on you and you have to dig for that. And also, we're not consistent. We're not really on the same page. We don't really know what we're about. We're not putting forward a message on that at all. You have to dig for that, or it's on you to make it out. And that's just bad. They have their own About Us page. This is our last hope. Does this help? Maybe this site was made by different people. It looks different. For more than 200 years, the Democratic Party has led for the people and by the people. Okay, an appeal to history feels odd. Desperately, there's a party switch. Is it the party of the new? Maybe that's the direction to lean in. No, okay, we're leaning on history as a crutch. Just look at our products. How does that relate to a 200-year history? Our items are union printed and made right here in America. That's a good thing. Put that first. Whether you are passionate about voting rights, LGBTQ plus rights, racial justice, or any of the values we as Democrats hold dear, every single piece of this whole thing we've looked at assumes someone else, somewhere else, is doing the helping and reaching out and explaining for you. But no one actually is. And then they wonder why they're not connecting with people. Like, this is such a great sampler of the whole ball game. Our one-stop shop to support the Democratic Party is the right place for you. This is not a one-stop shop. There are also unrelated donation venues. Our store offers the latest apparel, accessories, and must-haves for folks looking to support the Democratic National Committee. Is there a difference between the Democratic Party and the Democratic National Committee? If so, what is that difference? Is that explained somewhere? I don't really know. In fact, 100% of the profits go to electing Democrats up and down the ballot. Electing Democrats, that's their top priority. Once again, not defined. Working for everyone. If you're working for everyone, that should be your top priority above electing Democrats. Because it kind of looks like you're not really choosing everyone, you're choosing Democrats running for office. That's, I don't know, it's a small thing, but it's emblematic. Brighter futures. We're mobilizing for a better, fair, and brighter future for America. Everyone can say that about themselves. You have to define that and contrast that against other visions for what a better future is. Fighting for America. We're fighting for the soul of our country, for the heart of our democracy, and for America's place as a land of opportunity for all. It would do better to merge fighting for America with working for everyone and to make those feel like the same thing. These feel separate. And if you're trying to present yourself as a fighter, that should not be your last priority listed. Have a question? No. Okay, made in America. Okay, well, that's that. That's the store. We're just going to have to press the back arrow a bunch. I apologize. That was a shop. Then they have to donate. Oop, also takes you off of their website onto ActBlue. Okay. Pitch into the DNC and help elect Democrats nationwide. I like this pattern. This is really fun, actually. This webpage is different, but it's like white and blue and it's bolder. It has a different style to it. And like this uses photorealism instead of like that simplified graphic design look. It's a different angle, but this could work. I don't know. And this uses like kind of a graphic printed like photorealistic like mule. That's fun. It does not match. It does not look like it's part of the same thing. No one's talking to each other. They do not have any unified vision, even on like this basic contractor level, which is not giving me faith in their communication. But I don't know. It's like a different vision that could work. And I just wish anyone who's any vision for like how are we even going to present the Democratic Party, assuming everyone's on board, aren't talking with each other. There's no cohesive plan. Then we have in Espanol, which is off to the side. Cool, just a direct translation. Okay. So that is the Democratic Party website. I hope this was insightful. I've made more videos and streams, and I will continue to do some on where the Democratic Party is at in the social consciousness, what it does well, what it does poorly, and how to fix it for the future. If you like this video, be sure to like and subscribe. You can go to shesrightshow.com to support me or get some merch. I made some merch, as you can see right here. Wow! I am ending the stream that this video is from. I hope you like it. Goodbye, everybody.